Hey, how you doing? This is your boy BrogiNaric back again with another episode of TV Aftermath. Today I'm be giving my spoiler review of Cannon Busters Season 1. Now, if you don't want spoilers, check out the non-spoiler review on my on my Instagram page and my IGTV. Click the link in the description and go to the Instagram. You can see it there. If you want spoilers, stay tuned because I'm going to get into Cannon Busters Season 1 spoilers for this awesome anime show that is on Netflix. But before I get into it, let me give you my grade for Cannon Busters Season 1. If I was to grade Cannon Busters Season 1, I would give it the grade of a B plus or 8.5 out of 10. Very solid show. Not the greatest anime ever, definitely not the worst, but it's a good starting point. Alright, so that was my grade, and in the spoiler review, I'm just going to go over some main plot points. I'm probably not going to go over every single thing, but there's certain main things that stood out to me. One of those things, like I mentioned in my spoiler review, this show was created by LaShawn Thomas, who was the head animation director on shows like The Boondocks, Black Dynamite on Adult Swim, and he also worked on Legends of Korra show as well. And he created this Cannon Busters series years ago as a comic book. It was only a 2-issue comic book, but now he's turned it into an animated anime, Americanized anime on Netflix. It's only 12 episodes. Hopefully it'll get a second season. Really dope show. Animation is beautiful. The soundtrack is great. So they did the damn job with this show. So let me get into spoilers. So the vibe of the show, I really like the fun and loose vibe of it. The styles, this is a mixed mash of a lot of styles. It's a western, it's a sci-fi, it's got magic, it's got cyborgs, you got demons, you got cat people and dog people all in the background. It's a mixed hodgepodge, mole people living underground. It's a lot of weird things. And like I said, it reminds me of a cross between a little bit of Cowboy Bebop and a little bit of Thundercats. And that sounds crazy, but if you've seen both shows, you can kind of see how these two has just been kind of meshed together, and you would come up with something like this. And also kind of like the sort of simplicity of the magic versus technology thing that's kind of going on in the background. And I want to see more of the world building, because this show, it takes a while for it to get into some of the world building, but like those are some of the episodes that kind of stand out more to me when you get more into the different characters' backstories. Like, say, Philly the Kid, he's an immortal. Like, how did he become immortal? We don't know exactly how, but we know his motivations because his family was killed by the Bodican Empire. And I like how the Bodicans aren't completely good, and then the other factions, other kingdoms aren't completely aren't completely evil. They all have their different motives, very grounded and realistic in that way. But like Philly is out for revenge because his family was killed. I'm assuming they believed in magic, and he makes a deal with a demon, and then that's how he's immortal. I'm assuming he's going to have, because he gets the tattoos every time he dies, I'm assuming he has a limited number of tattoos he can get. Maybe it's like once his whole body is completely covered in tattoos, that's it. I don't know. But he's a fun character. I liked him. And there was some things I didn't like about him, which was like how, which was pointed out in, I think it was episode 6 with the Federer, where he's like, look, you want revenge, but you spent this last couple of years just being a complete fuck up. Like, why are you like this? If you have an opportunity to get your revenge and you're about to give it away, which was, Sam and her being a cannon buster and he can use her powers. That was another thing that kind of bugged me, is like, he's seen her transform numerous times. And it took him a while to realize that she didn't know what it was. And then once he knew she didn't know what it was, he never once went out of his way to be like, hey, you can turn into a badass robot, right? Like, I thought it was kind of odd he never brought that up to her. But Sam is really good. She's a fun character. And I like this sort of naivete of her. And I like the design where she can transform not just to a badass robot, but like depending on the situation, she has a different configuration for each situation, which is great for shows like this. For each time or it happens, it could be fresh. I liked some of the weird villains that they come across in this series, like was it Mama and Sarita? I think that's like the second or third episode where they're like killing people and skinning them. Like this show gets dark. Like they get this thing where they skinning people and turning them into clothes. That was dark as hell. I like the Federer, like I mentioned, which was the what was it, like the curse? Yeah, the cursed magicians. Like magicians get cursed, and they turn into these like energy vampires. And whenever they touch someone, they absorb their life form into them. But then the people that person know becomes attached to them. So then they go after the people that the person they just absorbed. So it was a weird, but that was a good episode because that was when we got Philly's backstory, a little more of his backstory and his reasons for why he is a fuck up to a degree. And also love Nine and his weird samurai. What was it, the 47 Ronins? And then some of them turned on each other, and then he's like on the run, but he's trying to track him down. And then there was the other samurai, I think was named 12, I think was her name. His old lover, and their weird, lover star-crossed lovers thing they got going on. I can't wait to see more of that stuff because I thought that was going to be bigger in this story, but it's something they dropped and then they brought in, then they dropped it. Hopefully they'll bring it back more for the second season because I really like Nine. I like the voice actor, and I like anytime there's a badass older guy, especially in the anime. They're usually my favorite characters, and it's between him and Philly as my favorite characters, but I really dig Nine. So yeah, the design of Bessie, the transforming Cadillac that turns to the Mecha Bull, awesome, odd concept, but it's really badass in the show. And I love how Casey kind of becomes the specialist with Bessie because she's a mechanic and she knows how to make her better and all of that. And I like their bond. Casey was a very fun character. Oh, another weird villain I forgot to talk about that they come across, JoJo, the old man bounty hunter that's stuck in the body of an 8-year-old. That was a fun episode when they go to that town and it's like an old western sort of high-tech-ish sort of town, and JoJo's killed the waitress and Philly gets blamed for it because they think he killed her, and then you find out that JoJo's like 80 years old and he's stuck in the body of an 8-year-old and he snaps and he's got the cybernetic handgun thing. That was a fun episode. I really enjoyed creative the creative characters and different goons that they have in this show. I can't remember their names, but it was like the people that work for Emperor Locke. I like all of their designs. It was like the lead chick with the pink hair, and she's got no arms, but she can like distance control her hands. And there was the robot chick. I think her name was Briggs. Then there was the dude with the mask who can make mirages, and then there was like the chick that she looked like Harley Quinn to me. She was like a Harley Quinn, but she had like a laser eye. She was fun. I hope they come back and we can get a little more of them because they were fun in the last 2 episodes when they actually do stuff. Let me talk about Prince Calby and Odin. Prince Calby was played by Zeno Robinson, voiced by Zeno Robinson, and Odin was voiced by Darian Sills Evans. And they got the student master story. It's basic stuff, but he's like trying to get Prince Calby to toughen up and be a man. And Prince Calby, he's your typical idealistic prince. And there was this whole subplot where they capture this soldier who's working for Locke named Hilda, who's from a different warring faction of the Bodikins. So she doesn't really like the Bodikins, but she also doesn't like Emperor Locke, but she's between a rock and a hard place. But over time, and by over time I mean like a few episodes, a few conversations, she decides to break away from Locke and try to help out the prince. And there's a moment where you think she's on their side, and then she kind of turns on him, but it was actually she was faking it so she can help get Kelby out of the room, and she ends up sacrificing herself. And then Kelby gets so emotional over her loss. I didn't quite buy that moment of Kelby being so dedicated to this woman when she died. Especially, like, I get where he was coming from because so many people he knows has died, and then this was another person he just knew, and then she died, and he felt a stronger connection to her because she was human as opposed to someone like Sam, who this whole time Sam is like, oh, Kelby, he's my best friend, and da-da-da, and then Kelby like turns on her. That's a little bit, but like he's like, oh, I don't care about you, you're just a robot, and this is a human person, and now she's dead because of blah blah blah, which I thought was kind of, you could tell Sam was hurt by that. And I was like, oh man, don't tell me Kelby's gonna be a little asshole. But like, he's not. He was in a certain moment, but he kind of gets it later on in the episode when he realizes how dedicated Sam is, because he doesn't realize that Sam, by her being a cannon buster, we find out that the Cannon Busters were these special war golems, these special devices that were created that are a combination of technology and magic, and that combination gives them a soul. That's why Sam seems like a real person, even though she is a robot. She can feel and emote and react and adapt in a certain realistic way. That's because of that combination. And then she can also transform, and she's assigned or given, well, in this case, she's assigned to protect Prince Kelby at all costs. So when he was kidnapped and in the jet, she like transforms into this like giant mech, this all white mech, and like takes out the ship. And then of course the ship transforms, and then they have an epic fight. That was cool. I like all of that stuff. But I like when they explain how, you know, what a cannon buster is in the last episode, because they mentioned it in the first episode, then they don't bring it up until the last episode. And they also explain how there are others out there. So I can't wait to see the other ones that are out there. And also they're outlawed, and they have their own personalities, and they're not as nice as what Sam is. So that's gonna be fun to see that continued in the next episode. I mean the next season. Hopefully it'll get 3, maybe 4 seasons, but solid stuff so far. So those are the main things I wanted to talk about. Like I said, the animation is great, the characters are great, the voice actors are good, really good. The animation is super great. Can't wait to see. There's a lot of stuff that can be explored in the next season, and I want to see more of this world and the world building within this season. So definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. It's a fun time. If you just watched the spoilers and haven't seen the actual show, check it out. It's worth your time, and it'll definitely hold you over until like what My Hero comes out, and I think in October. So good show to watch. My Hero. Good show to watch. Definitely check it out. So those are my thoughts on Cannon Busters Season 1. If you have any thoughts, let me know about them down in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more videos on this channel. Thanks for watching, and peace.
Finish this thought. I am a slave to
the booty.